Hello everyone, today we have new video review and this time we're gonna check fresh release from Special Hobby. That's a 1/72 scale aircraft, and as you can see it copies Dornier Do 27 or Casa C127 in German, Spanish or Belgian series, so it will be quite an interesting to see marking options inside. One of them you can see on the box art, but first let me remind you that we are still gathering money for the new camera and you can help us by pressing the donate button on our website. It is easy, it is safe because it's done via PayPal, and of course you decide the amount we will receive. So this kit should be available immediately, and now we have a chance to check it closer. That's a 1/72 scale aircraft, so as you can see box is not that big. Here you can see comparison with my hand. We have nice box art on the front, and on the back side we have 3 marking options which are included into this kit. That's Belgian Air Forces, also Spanish Air Forces, and of course Luftwaffe. Now let's open this box and check what is hidden inside. As you can see, box has a side opening design. We have all plastic sprues packed into the same plastic bag. Then we have assembly manual, and that's pretty much all. As you can see, empty box. Okay, let's start from the assembly manual. So that's a typical Special Hobby brochure with short history note and check in English. Then we have parts map. And assembly process starts from the cockpit, of course. Then we join fuselage house. Next we proceed. Note that there are different versions of the cockpit for different marking options, so be careful and choose the right one for your marking option. Here you can see wing assembly process. Then we attach tail wing and also rudder. Here is the cowling. Then we continue with landing gear, separate doors and hatches. That's quite an interesting feature. Those are transparent parts, and again you can depict them either in open or closed position. Next we have marking guides. Those of course are printed in color, so you will be able to understand which paints to use for this or that marking option. Here we have Luftwaffe marking option, just to remind you. This is a Belgian Air Force marking option, and here is the Spanish one, the most simple marking option in my opinion. Here we have other aircrafts in 1/72 scale from Special Hobby. As you remember, we reviewed almost all of them, so you can check their review on our YouTube channel and website. And here you can see some other kits available from the Special Hobby. Of course, that's a P40 series which we reviewed as well. And as you can see now it has full line of resin accessories for those aircraft, so you can have even more detail at 1/72 scale aircraft. Nevertheless, let's move on to this plastic bag with plastic sprues. As you can see, it is full of gray plastic sprues, even though aircraft in finished state will be quite small. And we're gonna start with this plastic frame. Here we have fuselage half and also cockpit floor, as you can see here. And those are cowling parts. Now the tail wings are molded together, so it will be easy to get the right level. Here's the rudder, and now we can zoom in so that you can see these parts closer. So here is the cockpit floor, which is quite plain on the first side, but of course it will be upgraded, let's say, with separately molded parts. Here you can see some of the landing gear elements. These are landing gear legs as far as I remember. This is a fuselage half. Of course we have recessed panel lines, and as you remember we will also have separate panels and doors. This is a radiator panel which looks quite nice, and of course we will benefit from washes. Those are some external elements as well. Here we have separate rudder, and what else? These are cowling parts, and what is interesting, yes, we have position pins inside, so it will be easy to combine them together. Then here we have the tail wing part. As you remember, it is molded as one piece part, so we won't have to work with any separate halves. You just separate this part of the sprue and you're good to go. Molding quality overall is quite nice. Even on the thin parts I didn't find any flash. Now we continue with another plastic frame. This one is smaller. Why? Because here we have different minor elements for internal detailing. Let's zoom in. For example, here you can see one of the seats. Here's another section. Here we have frontal seats and also rear seats if you assemble one of the marking options. Here's another part, and that's a cockpit wall as far as I can guess. These are pedals, and here we have two dashboard types which should be upgraded, I hope, with separate decals. Otherwise you will have to replicate those with dry brushing method, because I don't see any other possible alternative for this. Nevertheless, let's move on. By the way, I didn't show you something interesting on the previous sprue, but I will show you on the next one because it also has the same part. And here I would like to show you the next plastic frame, which is dedicated to landing gear system. So here we have landing gear legs together with landing gear wheels. Note that each wheel is molded as one piece part, so it should be easy to install it. And I will zoom in so that you can see detailing well. Of course we don't have any detailing on the tires walls, but did you see any plastic kits with such detailing? I mean, it's not that often, so especially in 1/72 scale, so I would say that molding quality is excellent here. As for the landing gear legs, we have the special position elements which will help you to get proper alignment on your model, so no worries. And as you can see, it looks quite nice. Parts are really small here. You can see comparison with my fingertip. That's a 1/72 scale, don't forget it. Next we have another plastic sprue. That's actually the last gray plastic sprue in this kit. And here again we have fuselage half, wings, two types of the propeller, and some external elements for detailing. Of course, flaps and ailerons are pre-molded, and I would zoom in so that you can see those nice recessed panel lines. Everything looks nice, and as you remember, wing should be assembled out of two halves, but we have position pins inside. And as you can see, this leading edge will be actually copied as a one piece, so you won't be able to see any gap in this area. As for the fuselage half, we have this nice interesting detailing, because as you remember, we can open one of the doors on the fuselage, so it's quite crucial to have at least something inside the fuselage. So that's why Special Hobby decided to replicate minor cockpit detailing, I would say. Next we have separate plastic bag with transparent sprue. Give me a second to open it. Of course, separate plastic bags will help you, will ensure that you won't get any scratches on those transparent parts. Now we zoom in so that you can see those clear elements closer. Molding quality is really impressive, but as usual, this kit does not feature any masks for those clear elements, so be ready to cut them with your own hands, or maybe to buy some aftermarket, because otherwise it might be tricky to mask those elements. They're quite, I would say, bent, so it might be tricky with stickers, and obviously you will have to use liquid masks. Then the last plastic bag is dedicated to decals sheet, and also there is a small PE thread. Just give me a second. So here it is. Decals sheet is printed in cartograph, as you can see, small logo here. I'll zoom in so that you can see it closer. Surprisingly, for 1/72 scale aircraft we have decals for stencils. Note that we also have decal for the dashboard, so at least something will be detailed inside the cockpit, but I don't have any doubts that we will see PE aftermarket set for this kit as well. And here you can see some other symbols which will be used for one of the marking options. Just to remind you, in total there are 3 marking options included into this kit: Belgian, Spanish, and also German. And last but not the least is this small PE thread, which is unpainted, and as far as I can guess it was made in Edward. As you can see here, we have different internal and external elements for this small aircraft. So that's all for this video review. I hope you enjoyed it. As usual, it will be interesting for me to hear your opinion about this kit. What do you think about this aircraft in particular? I mean, in my opinion, I think it will be quite an interesting build in 1/72 scale. But of course, write your words here in the comment section below. I will be happy to discuss it with you. If you like this video, press the like button, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and I will see you in the next video review as usual. Bye!